This past Rosh Hashanah, I think it was in the morning, opening the ark were three congregants: Lynn Kleinenberg, her daughter Susan Glick, and her daughter-in-law Ellen Kleinenberg. The last time Lynn stood before an ark was just after she returned from Maui, where the fires were burning just a few blocks away from where 3 generations of her family were vacationing. They were without essential medication and food for days. When Lynn returned, she came by the temple, shaken by the experience. I brought her into the sanctuary, and to help ground her, I placed the Torah in her arms. After watching the trees in Maui's forest burn indiscriminately, Lynn held on to our tree of life, our Eitz Chaim, our Torah, while we recited Birkat HaGomel, a prayer thanking God for surviving seemingly hopeless situations. This sense of hopelessness reminded me of the plot of land also in Maui that the late U.S. poet laureate W.S. Merwin and his wife Paula bought when they moved there from New York in the early 1980s. The land had been deforested for firewood to fuel the whaling ships, then overgrazed by settlers, then truly ruined by the way the pineapple growers indiscriminately planted, causing all of the topsoil to wash away. Decades of abuse had leached that land so not even native plants would grow. How many of us would have deemed that place hopeless and moved to a more fertile part of the island? But not the Merwins. Each day, the Merwins went out and planted a single sapling. They did the same the next day, and the next day, and the day after that. Today, that once desolate 19-acre plot of land is called the Merwin Conservancy, a lush forest of over 3,000 palm trees, which thankfully survived the recent fires in Maui. You see, when the Merwins began to plant, they did not know what that once desolate land in Maui could become. They did not know what their actions day by day, seedling by seedling, could create. They just refused to believe that it was hopeless. Hopeless. Such an interesting word, right? It's not simply a declaration that our current situation is bad. It's a resignation that there is no way for it to get better. Rabbi Danny Berkman explains that hopelessness is the white flag surrendering to the forces of evil. It is the avoidance of the fight for what is right. It is the acceptance that tomorrow will be no better than today. But you know the other thing about the word hopeless? It's not a Jewish word. Hopeless does not exist in the Hebrew language. There's no word for hopeless in biblical, Talmudic, even modern Hebrew. You see, Judaism does not accept that a situation is ever hopeless. The Jewish response to suffering, we've had plenty. The Jewish response to crisis, we've survived many. The Jewish response to our broken world has been and always will be tikva, hope. It's not just the belief that things will be better. It's the faith that we have the strength to make things better in any situation, no matter how desperate it may seem. Author and podcast host Brene Brown explains, never underestimate how important hope can be. We need hope like we need air. To live without hope is to risk suffocating on despair. Risk being crushed by the belief that there is no way out. To be a Jew, then, or part of a Jewish family, is to be like the Merwins, to embrace hope by planting saplings for the future. And hope is not about being optimistic, no. Archbishop Desmond Tutu, survivor of South Africa's brutal apartheid regime, when asked why he was an optimist, replied, "I'm not an optimist. I'm a prisoner of hope." Quoting from the biblical prophet Zechariah, Archbishop Tutu said, Hope is a much deeper source of strength, practically unshakable, which doesn't change when circumstances change. Hope is being able to see that there is light despite the darkness. There's this Talmudic story that my friend Rabbi Beth Clafter likes to tell, that some 1,500 years ago, Yosef became ill and he fainted. And when he returned to good health, his father, Rabbi Yehoshua, asked him, "What did you see when you were not conscious?" Yosef responded, "I saw olam hafuch, an upside-down world. Those who were considered important in this world were below and insignificant, while those who were insignificant in this world were above." Indeed, it can seem that we are living also in an olam hafuch, a world turned upside down. It can be overwhelming, depressing. In the privacy of my office, on confidential phone calls, in conversations where you don't hold back, so many of you are admitting an awful truth, that you no longer believe that better days are ahead, that you think that we are living in olam hafuch, a world turned upside down. Everybody all over the place has their own reasons to think why the world has turned upside down. Tellingly, many point to mass shootings that lead them to habitually check for exits and hiding places when entering mundane spaces, like movies or malls, like classrooms or concerts, like the supermarket or even the synagogue, recognizing the potential inevitability of a mass shooter making our safe spaces their playground to punish those they disagree with. Just ask the congregants who are at the borderline country music club not too far from here, or those who regularly are locked down in their local high schools or while away at college. Some of you go even further and you say, the world feels hopeless. Yet to be a Jew is to look at desperate circumstances and to find a reason to act for hope. Previous generations planted trees in Israel, before there was a state of Israel, before and during the Holocaust, at times when no one knew if there would be surviving Jews to re-inherit the land that God promised. But still, Jews planted. That's tikva. That's hope. Just like, as Rabbi Lana explained in her wonderful Rosh Hashanah sermon, 7 million Israelis protesting each and every Saturday night for 34 weeks and counting are fiercely hoping to protect Israeli democracy. They are planting seeds of hope. To be a Jew is to fight when the fight seems lost, like the huge number of Jews and Jewish groups supporting the reproductive rights movement. They rightly understand that Torah, in Exodus chapter 21, verses 22 and 23, in Mishnah Ohalot 7:6, in Talmud Gittin 23b, and in later codes all over the place, all point to the conclusion that a woman must have access to reproductive choice. Embracing this Jewish law, these groups are now playing the long game, planting seeds of hope for a future of real reproductive freedom. And to be a Jew is to say to queer kids and adults, and trans people too, don't give up hope. We see you. For 2,000 years, our Mishnah, the compendium of Jewish law, in Bikurim chapter 4, in Yevamot chapter 8, and elsewhere, has recognized not 2 genders, but 8. Such that Judaism at its root is a people and religion that sees you fully. You are our congregants, our congregant kids, our former B'nai Mitzvah, all grown up, and we, your Ora Mi clergy, and this synagogue community will continue to be a safe place of safety and of belonging. And we know you are again becoming pawns for cynics who want to use your lives for political gain. You are no threat to my marriage, no threat to my bathroom space, no threat to my sports experience. And Judaism forbids Jews and Jewish communities to empower those who bully at the margins to make themselves appear stronger. Because that's what they used to do to us, Jews, and still do. And you have told us how scary it is. 496 bills have been introduced in the states for the 2023 legislative season alone, limiting your rights, endangering your lives, taking away your freedoms. Do not give up hope, because we won't. I won't. And I will continue to act. And to be a Jew is to be like Asael Shibo, who I learned about from our congregant Marsha Rothpan of the Israel Parasports Center. Asael had plenty of reasons to feel hopeless, but, well, listen to him in his own words.
Life didn't let me choose my challenges. Life didn't let me choose my struggles. I didn't choose to have the people I love the most taken away from me. I didn't choose this disability. There is only one thing I did get to choose. Hope.
Clear now, yo, it's my time, and it's near now, and I'm too strong, no fear now. You can feel it when the crowd starts to cheer now, and we here now, vision's clear now, and it's my time, and it's near now, and I'm too strong, no fear now. Feel it when the crowd starts to cheer. Let's go!
Pirkei Avot, the Talmudic sayings of our ancestors, goads us to act. Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor, it writes, you are not required to solve the entirety of the world's problems. V'lo ata ben chorin lehitbatel mimena, but neither are you free to do nothing. When the world feels hafuch, upside down, and you find yourself descending into hopelessness, do the Jewish thing. Plant a sapling, like the Merwins who planted a tree a day until a forest was born. Like Asael, who did pull-ups in his wheelchair every day until he was a champion. Find your own cause, whatever it may be, and become its champion, planting the seeds for a glorious tomorrow. The world needs each of us. Jews, don't get lost in hopelessness. We plant seeds of hope. Make the world your garden. Go out and plant. That would be a blessing. Gamar Chatima Tova. May we be sealed for a blessing.
Amen. ratzon, ken yehi ratzon.
Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha, Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom. God bless you and keep you. God's face shine upon you and be gracious to you. God's face turn toward you and grant you peace. Amen. 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 May God's favor be upon you for 1,000 generations,
And your family, and your children, and their children, and their children.
May God's presence go before you and behind you and beside you.
All around you and within you, God is with you, God is with you.
In the morning, in the evening, in your coming and your going.
In your weeping and rejoicing, God is for